Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
Joe Bob Briggs still here. Big Trouble in Little China, a great but underrated John Carpenter movie. Critics just hated that movie when it came out. They acted like it was supposed to make sense, but it was obviously a parody of Hong Kong movies. In fact, Carpenter said that one of the films that influenced it was The Swordsman of Mount Shock, and it was definitely filmed in the Hong Kong style. They used the huge Stage 6 on the 20th Century Fox lot, and they built every single set. Even the outdoor scenes were done on a big sound stage. I think it's hysterical, but it didn't do that well in 1986. It's one of those movies that people started watching later on cable. And I hate that when that happens, because by then it's too late. You can't help the filmmakers. It's too late to help the actors. If the movie doesn't succeed at the box office, it's always considered a failure. And I'm stalling for time here, because coming up right now is Theodore Rex. And you know, my mama always said that if you can't say anything good about something, then just don't say anything at all. So roll film. One of the finest achievements of the great comic actress Whoopi Goldberg. What kind of name is that, by the way?
I don't know.
Because her last name sounds Jewish, Goldberg. Sounds like a jeweler in Brooklyn, right? And her first name sounds like a sound made by Bozo the Clown at a children's birthday party. Whoopi. Who names their kid Whoopi? Well, dear, she's not an Esther. Dolores might be a nice name, maybe Tiffany. Hey, I know. What were we doing when she was conceived? Oh, great idea, honey. Maybe your parents owned a novelty shop near the Jewish toy market in New York, and they sold whoopee cushions.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
Okay, let me get this straight now. Whoopi is starring in a $35 million movie with a guy in an 8-foot rubber dinosaur suit. A $35 million movie that was billed as a children's picture, and in the very first scene of that picture, a cute dinosaur named Albert looks cross-eyed at the adorable little butterfly that flutters down onto his nose, not knowing that the adorable little butterfly is actually a bomb that quickly explodes his head. Now, why do I think that when little 5-year-old Timmy sees that, he might have a few questions for Mommy? All right, we'll tell you how this movie happened at the next break, because, see, if I told you right now, you wouldn't watch until the next break. So, you see, that's why I'm here, to hold you for 12 more minutes. Just enough time for you to start believing that this is an actual film with, like, actors and stuff. You know, that's my job. Okay, roll it. Mommy, why are pieces of Barney lying on the pavement in this movie? Don't they think of stuff like that when they have the script meeting? Yeah. Oh, I forgot. There is no script. How stupid of me.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
Flag this joint so we can carry on. I can make you heaven while the shaitan's drum.
The big dino nightclub scene from Theodore Rex. Okay, here's how this turkey happened. The script for this was written by Jonathan Betwell, the guy who wrote The Last Starfighter, and he directed My Science Project. And he sold it to New Line Cinema for $1.1 million just for the script. And then in 1992, Whoopi Goldberg read the script, and she said she would do it. And then Sister Act came out, and Whoopi was famous again, so she decided she didn't want to do it anymore, so she backed out of it. So the producers sued her for $20 million because they had been going all over the world making these deals with foreign countries based on Whoopi Goldberg starring in the movie. And then that Kim Basinger case happened. Remember that, where she was sued for agreeing to star in Boxing Elena, and then she backed out, and the court made her pay $7 million to the producers, so Whoopi thinks, ooh, I don't need that, do I? And so she settled this case. She said, okay, I'll star in it, but only if you delay it a year and you pay me $7 million. And then the whole time they were making the movie, Whoopi didn't want the producer anywhere on the set. So this guy, Stefano Ferrari, the producer, who was spending $17 million of his family's own money from his pharmaceutical company in Italy, was not even allowed on his own set when Whoopi was there. And then she disagreed with the director on how to play the character, and she was accused of just going through the motions to get this baby finished. And then they did finish it after the budget now went up to 35 mil, and it was supposed to open in the summer of 1995. And then it was supposed to open at Thanksgiving of 95, and then Christmas of 95, and then January of 96, and then March 29th, 1996, which was 4 days after Whoopi hosted the Academy Awards. They figured, well, they'd get some good mileage out of the Academy Awards. And then March 29th came, and the movie did not open. It is officially the most expensive direct-to-video movie in the history of the world, because New Line thought, well, why spend $5 million more to advertise it and play it in theaters? We'll just bail to cable on this one. So Stefano Ferrari has to go tell his father in Italy, the patriarch of the big pharmaceutical Ferrari family in Italy, that all the money is gone. And the family was a little upset with Stefano, 17 mil down the old toilet. And then 5 people sued Ferrari, saying that they were owed more money. So Stefano is now back home in New York, very happy to be away from Hollywood. Okay, back to the movie. How come that happens to him, though, but nothing sticks to Whoopi? That's what I want to know. Bruce Willis makes Hudson Hawk. People talk about that for years. Demi Moore makes Striptease. Everybody goes, man, wonder if she'll ever work again. That girl in Showgirls, what was her name? See, I've already forgotten her name. But Whoopi makes Theodore Rex, and everybody goes, wonder what Whoopi's next movie will be. You know, how does that happen?
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
1, 2, 3! Yeah!
Oh, the famous dinosaur roller hockey sequence from Theodore Rex. Do we have any more brewskis over there? Because I'm getting a headache here. I think it was the line, you cannot judge a dino by his scales. Let's get this over with, okay? I'm dying here. Whew. Wouldn't you just like to take that guy in the dinosaur suit, which, by the way, is a pretty sorry excuse for a dinosaur suit. Isn't the head way too big for the body? So it looks like one of those Disney World animals where the mouth never moves, right? Anyway, wouldn't you just like to take that guy in the rubber suit and plunge 6 or 7 machetes through there at different angles, you know, turn him into a hat rack, just throw him out on the interstate, watch a semi flatten him like roadkill, twist his head off, spear it with a pitchfork? Ugh.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
Cookie, 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 shouts Teddy Rex the dinosaur in the hysterical but touching comic love scene between Teddy and the dinosaur love interest, Molly. Does that about sum it up? I think it does. By the way, Eleazar Kane, the villain, is played by the great Armin Mueller-Stahl, who will probably not be putting this on his acting reel back in Europe. And while I'm at it, I should give credit to Carol Kane, who does the voice of Molly. Carol probably won't be listing this one on her resume either. All righty, let's go. The scene coming up, by the way, is probably the most painfully awful scene in this whole movie, which is like saying the coldest place in Siberia. You know what I mean? But you be the judge, all right?
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
You know this gag with Teddy's dinosaur tail knocking stuff over? There's a rule of comedy. The first time you do something, it's funny because it's a surprise. The second time you do it, it's about half as funny. The third time you do it, it sucks. Now, how many times have they done that gag? Would you say about 9? Don't get me started. Anyway, just get the movie started. Go. See, I want to know what they said at that very first meeting. You know, okay, JB, here's the concept. An 8-foot-tall, walking, talking, cookie-eating dinosaur becomes a cop in L.A., But it's a buddy picture. Okay, here's the cool part. The buddy is Whoopi Goldberg. It's Lethal Weapon for children with a Barney the Dinosaur theme going on. And they go, I don't know, it needs something else. Maybe a young black child gets kidnapped, something like that. And they go, sure, JB, we can add that in. And one more thing, Chief, the police commissioner is Richard Roundtree. We signed Shaft yesterday. And the guy goes, make it. When can we roll film? I mean, what were they thinking? I'd really like to know what they were thinking.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
Oh! Am I interrupting the exciting climactic gun battle scene in Theodore Rex? How could we possibly do that to you? I think we should go right back to that movie, Whoopi Goldberg. Not since Burglar and Claire's Heart has she turned in a performance like this one. And now the mind-numbing conclusion to Theodore Rex, starring a walking, talking tyrannosaur with a head the size of Cleveland, only in Hollywood. They don't make movies like this in Romania. Okay, go. I bet there was some poor merchandising executive at the studio who spent a whole year planning the Theodore Rex action figures, the Theodore Rex video game, the Theodore Rex lunchbox, and then one day they say, hey, Bill, we're screening the movie today over on the lot. Come take a look. Then the guy needs 3 scotches at lunch.
Back to Joe Bob's Last Call and Theodore Rex on TNT.
So, Shaft promotes Teddy Rex to detective, and Theodore Rex finally peters out, and thank God that is over. Whoa. And shoot, I guess we're done. Do you guys know what Marv Albert did when he got his pink slip from NBC? He put it on. Joe Bob Briggs reminding you that the drive-in will never die. What's the difference between Marv Albert and Sharon Stone? Marv wears panties.